Coming up on Spartan Sports Report, the Michigan State baseball team traveled down Michigan Avenue for its annual game against the Lansing Lugnuts. Women's gymnastics looked to advance to the NCAA Championships for the first time in 37 years, and the men's tennis team took on a pair of ranked conference opponents.
Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of Spartan Sports Report. Here from the Spartan Newsroom, I'm Daphne Bohenik.
And I'm Dominic Carroll. Daphne, track and field is in full force, and softball and baseball bats are swinging, and the Michigan State gymnastics team is still dancing.
Absolutely, Dominic. The winter postseason and regular season for spring sports have been a blast here in East Lansing and on the road. But we're going to start just off campus with some Michigan State baseball. Even with the snow lately, Michigan State baseball has been in full swing. The Spartans took on the Lansing Lugnuts for the 17th annual Crosstown Showdown last Tuesday. This game was a little different than a regular season game, as the High A Athletics affiliates pitchers threw to both teams in a matchup of 7 innings. Lugnuts catcher Cole Kahn helped the green and white score the only run of the game, knocking a double. Ryan McKay then moved Kahn over with a ground out, and Caleb Berry would line one to center field. Lugnuts center fielder Rodney Green mishandled the ball, allowing Kahn to cross home plate. Sam Bush had a hit of his own, dropping a single to right as the Spartans would go on to win the matchup 1-0. MSU's first win in 12 games against the Lugnuts. Head coach Jake Boss Jr. praised this game as a learning experience for his team.
Our guys, we talked about it yesterday. If they don't come out of here learning something, then they missed an opportunity. And I think our guys were pretty engaged today and paying attention to what was going on. And yeah, it's just something they're going to remember, win or lose, for the rest of their lives.
After a battle at Jackson Field, the Spartans headed to Bloomington to face Indiana despite some inclement weather. On Sunday, Michigan State hung around early, but was topped 6-4. The next day, MSU looked to salvage the series, but were outscored 32-4 by the Hoosiers in a 14-inning doubleheader. The Spartans fell to 17-13 overall and 4-8 in Big Ten play. They will host Central Michigan tomorrow and Northwestern this weekend.
MSU softball took a break from conference play and hosted the Detroit Mercy Titans in a doubleheader last Tuesday at Secchia Stadium. The Spartans came out on top in the first game with a narrow 2-1 victory, but the bats woke up for the green and white in the second game. Michigan State recorded 14 hits, and Peyton Conroy grabbed her first hit of the season, the only home run of the game. MSU went on to sweep the Titans 20-0. After that win, the Spartans created such a large wave of momentum that it flooded the fields at Secchia Stadium, resulting in a 2-game home stretch being moved to a doubleheader on the road against Toledo. Ava Coffinger and Hannah Hawley's efforts gave the Spartans a 3-0 advantage, but Toledo rocketed their way back to a win after 9 innings of play, winning 5-3. In the second game, Michigan State led up until the 7th until Toledo scored 4 runs to take the game 6-5, sweeping the Spartans in the midweek doubleheader. Next up, the Spartans are headed to Champaign, Illinois, looking to get back in the win column against the Illini.
The 8th-seeded women's gymnastics team traveled to Penn State for the NCAA University Park Regional Final. To start off the meet, Michigan State put up a score of 49.425 on the floor, which put the Spartans in second after the first rotation. The green and white then broke their vault record for the second time this season with a 49.650. At the halfway point, the Spartans kept their spot in second, continuing on to bars with a 49.575, which was the second best bar score in program history. Michigan State finished the final rotation with a 49.350 on beam, allowing MSU to keep its second place spot behind number 1 LSU. This performance secured a ticket to the NCAA Championships for Michigan State for the first time since 1988. The meet will be held in Fort Worth, Texas on April 17th.
MSU men's tennis hosted a pair of conference matchups over the weekend. On Friday, the Spartans entered as the 31st ranked team in the country, facing off against the 66th ranked Northwestern Wildcats. The Spartans fared well in doubles, winning the first 2 matches and securing a point in the third. However, the Spartans shined in singles. Junior Ozan Barge defeated Felix Nordby in straight sets for his second win of the day. Senior Max Sheldon extended the Michigan State lead with a win over Grayson Casey, and Aristotle Stanos sealed the victory for the Spartans, giving them their 12th win of the season. After the win, the Spartans welcomed in number 24 Illinois, searching for an upset. Michigan State started out strong, winning the doubles matches over Illinois, including Barish and Forbes closing out the first match 6-2 in singles play. Mitchell Sheldon dominated his match 6-1 and 6-2, setting the stage for Vuk Radojanovic, who took down his opponents 7-5 and 6-2. But it would be none other than Max Sheldon who closed the curtains and waved goodbye to the Fighting Illini, winning 7-5 and 6-2 as the Spartans completed the 4-0 sweep over against Illinois. This would be the third victory over a high-ranked opponent this season for the Spartans. Next, the team will travel to the West Coast to take on the USC Trojans this Friday.
The number 58 Michigan State women's tennis team traveled to Indiana to face both Purdue and Indiana. MSU played in West Lafayette on Saturday and secured an upset victory over the number 53 Purdue Boilermakers, handing them their first home loss of the season. The Spartans wasted no time picking up a 6-3 victory from the duo of freshmen Amara Brombaut and junior Matilde Morais. Freshman Ellie Blackford and senior Lisa Vavalainen followed up with a 6-4 win that secured the doubles point. MSU would go back and forth with the Boilermakers, with the match tied 3-3 going into the final singles match. The third set would go into a tiebreaker, where Morais would clinch the Spartan victory with a 7-4 win. MSU would look to build on their upset victory in their matchup against Indiana in Bloomington on Sunday. The day started off on a sour note, with the duo Blackford and Vavalainen falling to their Hoosier competitors 6-3. Brombaut and Morais followed suit with a 6-2 loss in singles play. Blackford gave a spark of hope, winning her match, but Indiana was relentless and took the rest of the singles matchups and won the day 4-1. The Spartans moved to 4-6 in Big Ten play and 12-9 overall. The team will be back in action on Saturday against the Washington Huskies.
On Friday, the track and field team hosted the Spartan Invitational for its third competition of the season. In the only home meet of the year, the Spartans took home 20 event titles, including both the men's and women's 4x100-meter relay teams. MSU also had sweeps in men's shot put and 1500-meter and the women's 200-meter. Michigan State will get back to competing at the Virginia Invite on April 18th and 19th.
The Michigan State rowing team pulled off the clean sweep, winning all 4 races against Eastern Michigan on Saturday. The Spartans Varsity 8 finished more than 25 seconds ahead of Eastern Michigan. In the 4s race, MSU's 1v4 was 17 seconds ahead of 2v4 and finished a length ahead of the Eagles. The green and white returned to action on April 18th and 19th in Sarasota, Florida at the Nathan Benderson Park for the Big Ten Invitational Regatta.
With winter sports coming to a close, the transfer portal is already in high gear. Michigan State men's basketball lost some key players, the most notable being junior guard Trey Holloman. He averaged 9.1 per game last year on 23 minutes of playing time. Redshirt freshman Garrick Norman also hit the portal, and both him and Holloman are still in search for a school. Sophomore forward Xavier Booker was the last of the Spartans to leave, and he found his new school quickly as he will head to Southern California to play for the UCLA Bruins next season. The MSU hockey team are also in the midst of roster changes as sophomore backup goalie Luca DePasquo entered his name into the portal and will be going to the Minnesota Golden Gophers next year. Sophomore defenseman Austin Orvitz has landed at Merrimack, and freshman forward Mikey D'Angelo is on the move but still remains uncommitted to a new school. The hockey team did make some additions, however, as they landed freshman defenseman Colin Ralph from St. Cloud State. Ralph was named to the NCHC All-Rookie team and was a second-round pick by the St. Louis Blues in the 2024 NHL Draft.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Spartan Sports Report.
For more daily content, please make sure to check out all of our social medias as well as the Spartan Newsroom website. I'm Dominic Carroll.
And I'm Daphne Bohennick. We'll see you next time.